Let's talk to Patrick in Florida.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to pick that one.
Him thinks atheism is a faith. Hello, Patrick.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Good. Tell us
how are you?
Tell us how you think atheism is a faith.
Well, I think based off, I would say agnostic. Look, can we clarify the terms agnostic, atheist, and theist, and what we mean when we say that before we begin?
Why don't you define them? Why don't you define what you think they are?
Agnostic would be undecided as to whether or not God exists, neither atheist nor theist, I would say. And an atheist would be just not convinced God exists, or either doesn't believe there's evidence God exists, or either, one of those type claims. And then a theist would, assert that God exists.
Okay.
It's important to point out that there are real definitions, but even people in these camps are going to miss them up and use them differently and have me. So we're going to go with those definitions.
Yeah, let's go with those definitions.
We're just going to stick with that.
So
because I know for sure anybody watching this is going to be like, that's not what this means.
No.
Who cares?
We're not going to quibble about definitions. Let's go with what you define them as, and then you tell us based on those definitions how atheism is a faith.
In light of that, I would say that an agnostic would have no faith. Either way, they have an absence of faith, where a theist or an atheist would have faith, and the atheist would have faith because they somehow honestly believe there exists no evidence of God or something, whatever they claim, whatever the reason for, non-belief or technical non-belief would be, but it is a belief, perhaps in the great nothing that permeates all other things or something. I don't know, but whatever would be the claim of that individual atheist.
Well, I guess we need one more definition before, then I'll let you talk for us.
Yeah.
Define faith then.
Define what?
Faith, your definition of faith. When you say an atheism is a faith, define what you think faith is.
Faith is the belief in an unknown. You don't know if atheism is true or not. Atheism is not the facts, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The Bible the biblical definition of it.
This question everything. Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, I don't know. I have faith that the universe is God as a pantheist. I follow the faith of Einstein, 186 genius or whatever it was. I don't know, but numbers don't matter. I really consider atheism a faith from my perspective. I was a lifelong agnostic from about age 8 when I left the Catholic faith. My mom gave me the choice. She said, "Son, do you not want to go to church anymore?" And I said, "No, I don't know that I believe this. And, I think we could do a lot better things on a Sunday." And she was like, "Okay, son." And we went to the flea markets and out fishing and stuff. After that, I loved it.
Yeah.
But
it's nice.
Atheism, nice. I'm not convinced as an agnostic, as a life agnostic. I'm not convinced of atheism either. I'm a real skeptic. I'm a skeptic.
Well, that's a good place to be.
You said that you were a pantheist, and then you said that you were an agnostic for a long time. Did I miss something in there? You're a pantheist now?
No, I actually came to the revelation that I had what I feel was an epiphany in the shower years ago, that the universe was God. I had reasons for that several. I felt
so you do believe there's a God. You apply it to everything. That's what you're saying? Just in short, you do think there is such a thing as a God?
It's not that simple. It's simple and complex. The universe would be God, but what that means, I can't say exactly because there's a lot we don't know about the universe.
I used to believe a similar thing, so I feel like I think what you're thinking. I think we're on the same page. Let me ask you a serious question, Patrick. This is going to sound silly, but I mean this 100% sincerely. There's a closet right over here in my office. Inside that closet is a goblin named Roland. He disappears every time you open the door. He's an interdimensional being, and he eats Subway sandwiches and he grants wishes. Do you believe me or not?
Well, I know people are really creative, and I know goblins are an admitted by admonition fictional character out of a J.R.R. Tolkien book.
Real. No, I'm asking you genuinely. Do you believe me when I tell you there's a goblin?
I would say.
So do you have faith that there is not a goblin in that closet that grants wishes?
Yes, certainly I would say, odds are strongly against that.
The odds are against it for sure, but I'm asking you, do you think that is a faith-based position?
I mean,
that's what
I don't think it's that ludicrous. I don't think, some faith may be that ludicrous, but no, I don't think faith for the most part, like Buddhism, for example, you have no God.
I'm asking you a direct question. I only want an answer to this question.
Yeah, we're kind of wandering here, Patrick. Stay on the point.
Do you have faith? Do you have faith that Roll in the Closet Goblin is not real? Is that a faith-based position in your mind?
Yes.
Is it as realistic to say that Roland is not real as it is to say that God is real or I don't believe in God? Are those positions all in the same for you?
I don't think the metaphor fits like you think it does, but
it's
not
a metaphor.
Just ask
it's not a metaphor. I'm
Patrick,
telling you, there is a goblin in this closet, and I'm asking you if you think it's real.
God to a goblin in a closet someone just created.
I didn't equate anything to anything. I didn't equate anything to anything. I'm telling you, there's a goblin in the closet. I'm asking you if you believe me.
Is that not what you're insinuating? That God is
I'm not insinuating anything.
Exactly. Like,
I'm asking you if you believe in a goblin in my closet, and if you don't, I'm asking you if that is a faith-based position. That's all I'm asking. I haven't equated anything or insinuated anything.
Faith-based.
Just answer the question, Patrick.
Yes, I would believe it would be a faith-based position, even though you have strong evidence to show that that's probably not true.
You have no evidence to show that it's not true. You can't prove that the goblin doesn't exist. I told you it disappears every time you open the door.
That a goblin is a admitted fictional creature out of mythology.
We can agree that it's in some fiction books, but that's all we can agree on. There's gods in fiction books too.
Okay.
That's an equivocation there.
Patrick,
this to absurdity. Okay.
Well,
I'm just saying, if you're gonna say that it's a faith-based position to say I don't believe you when I'm saying there's a goblin in the closet, I think you're painting yourself into a corner. You're cramming yourself into a little box where you don't want to be. That's not a faith-based position. Well, you're saying I'm telling you there's this ridiculous thing. I'm saying that there's this ridiculous thing. You have three options. You can say, yes, I agree. No, that does not exist. Or I don't believe you. Yes and no are faith-based positions. I agree with that. Both of those would require evidence. And in the light of evidence, you have faith. Faith is the excuse that you give for believing in something without evidence. But the third position, I don't believe you, is not faith. It's saying, you haven't given me a reason to believe this. There's no way that you can prove that this goblin does or does not exist. So it's not faith to say, I have no reason to think about this right now. I have no reason to believe that it's true because I have no evidence. Faith is the believing in it without evidence or believing that it isn't real without evidence. But if you just say, I don't care, I don't give a shit, that there's no reason to think this is real, that's atheism in terms of God. It's not a faith-based position. It's rejecting a belief because you don't have evidence for it.
It's actually the opposite of faith.
Your definitions in the beginning.
The universe exists as a fact, meanwhile.
That has nothing to do with God. That doesn't say anything about God.
Exactly.
that,
as we said to the caller about evolution, even if you can tear apart every reason we know why the universe exists, you've done nothing to prove a creator.
The fact that you want to call the universe God doesn't make it so. I could call this desk
but
God.
Y'all are trying to divert this call right now.
No, we're not. We're trying to show you. No.
And we clearly established atheism is.
No, we haven't established
You've
anything
clearly
of the
said
sort.
that atheism is. We haven't established anything.
Just because you say it doesn't make it true. The fact what Forrest
is without faith. Now an atheist has
you're
faith.
saying we disagree.
No evidence of God. What would be evidence of God, though? You can't explain that.
Patrick, to say I don't believe.
There's no evidence?
Patrick, to say that I don't believe is the opposite of faith. It's not saying I have faith there's no God. It's saying I don't have faith there's a God. Do you not see the difference?
Well, maybe, I could be, if I could hear a convincing argument from an atheist why I should be an atheist, I might go with that. Now, if y'all could come up with something better than I don't know, I don't know.
I'll give you three good arguments for being an atheist.
I think we've kind of gone as far as we can on this, Patrick. We answered your question about atheism being a faith.
Convince me. Why would I want to be an atheist? I'm more agnostic to you. So,
Patrick, I don't give a shit if you're an atheist or not. Why would I care whether you're an atheist or an agnostic or a theist or not?
I said.
Well, then, good for you.
I like this pantheism. Let's pursue that.
No,
I think we're done pursuing God. There's no reason to have a God. There's no need for it. And having a God sounds awful. Those are three reasons in order of importance. The first one is the only one you need. In order of importance, those are three reasons.
You're not listening. You're not listening. Patrick, we spoke to your initial question. We've got 1,000 more callers. We're going to let you go. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
Goodness. But I said it, so therefore you've already agreed.